guys. How you feeling? All right. I made sure I looked good for you guys. I got my boss hat, but I'm here because I want to talk to you guys. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Tamika J. What's up? Welcome to my channel. All that good stuff. Nice to meet you. All right, I want to talk to you guys about this whole IG battle that's been happening. Teddy Riley versus Babyface. What else do we have? Switz Beats versus Tim. I really wanted to come to you guys because I love songwriting. Love songwriting. I've been writing songs since like maybe since the age of 9, I would say. And just watching all these battles on IG Live kind of made me have a nostalgic moment of when I wrote my first song, when I fell in love with songwriting, it made me fall more in love with music, just watching Teddy Riley versus Babyface, and it really, it took me back. It took me back to that era of when, lyrics meant something. So I want to give you guys a journey of my songwriting so that, you can just get to know me more and appreciate some of the songs that I have released now. But the way it started was I've always had this infinity, this love, this zeal for music, and I would catch on melodies quick. I found out that I can sing. Weird story, for some reason I went in the closet and I just started singing because I didn't want to be too loud for my parents. So I just started singing. I was like, and I was like, ooh, this sounds pretty good. I was just like, okay, kind of sounds a little bit like Whitney. I know I'm not Whitney, but okay. I hear a little vibrato. And my sister was also into music as well. She loves writing songs and she has this like infinity love for Babyface. So growing up, I would always watch her, and also just listen to the songs that she was always playing on her what do you call it? On her boombox. And so that's how I know so many like R&B songs. Anyway, so she would write her songs and she was always sending like cassette tapes to the LaFace Records, and because she wanted to be a songwriter. She still does. And I remember my dad came in the house and he had this big ass box, and I was like, okay, what is this? Is it a toy for me? Because I was the baby of the I'm the baby of the family. I'm like, thanks Dad for my gift. And it wasn't for me. It was a keyboard player for my sister. I will never forget. I still remember how it looks. It's a Casio keyboard. And then in my mind, I'm just like, yo, Pops, like, so this is what you're gonna do? Like, I love singing too. I love music as well. So you gonna give my sister a keyboard player and you're not gonna give me a keyboard player? So I was definitely in my feelings. And I remember my sister set up the keyboard player in the corner of her room, and then she would put she loved TLC. She'll put like TLC posters around the corner, and it was kind of like a little mini studio, with the keyboard. And I just remember she just giving me this look like, don't touch my keyboard. But if she only knew, I touched it, I played with it, I had fun with my sister's keyboard. So as you guys know, I just said it, I'm the baby of the family. So while I was home, my sister and my brother was still in school. So I remember just, as soon as elementary school would finish, and when I heard that dismissal bell go off, I would walk home because the school was really close to where I lived. And I was so excited to play with my sister's keyboard. I was just so excited to just I didn't know nothing about no damn piano, keyboard, notes, C, D, the key of C, nothing. And I just remember dropping my book bag, rushing to my sister's room, and I just started playing with her keyboard. And I had the time of my life. I felt like I was Stevie Wonder. I felt like I felt like I was a superstar. I would literally have my own little concert in my sister's room. And I don't even think she knows this. And the keyboard, it was a Casio keyboard, and it would have like this, I don't know how to say it, it kind of had like a demo loop. And every time you press that loop, it would have a cool piano musical sound loop going on. And so I would press that loop, and then I would write to it. And sometimes I would even pretend I was playing to the loop. I was like, and I was just like, ooh, I think I could write a song. So I'll go in my room, I'll get the paper, I'll get the pen, and I'll just start writing. And I didn't know what the hell I was writing about. And that's when I wrote my first song, Boy You Give Me Love Affection. And it goes something like this. Boy, you give me love affection. That's why I love you. That's why I need you. Boy, you give me love affection. That's why I love you. That's why I need you. Boy, you are very good to me. I love you with all of my heart. Wow. I mean, low key, it's still a bop. I will probably give that song to like a Disney 9-year-old person who's trying to get into the music. I don't know. But anyway, so that was my first song that I wrote. And after I wrote that song, I was just like, you know what? I can write. I'm a songwriter. Let me get my glasses out. I was just like, I can do this. So, let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you y'all what I did. So, I just started writing. I started writing about anything, okay? And it was not even good too. But I was just so excited to write. I remember my mom, she's like, Tamika, that's my household nickname. She's like, Tamika, we're gonna go to Target. And I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna write a song about Target. Wrote a song about Target. I don't remember how it goes. And then I remember one day we were getting ready to go to a wedding. Till this day, my sister still makes fun of me because of this song. And we were going to a wedding, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna write a song about going to a wedding. So then I wrote the song, goes, what was it? Wedding day is a holiday that we can celebrate. I love you with all of my heart. We can do anything we want. Not a good song, but I was just so excited to write because I knew how to write a song. I knew how to write. I was like, yes, I'm good at this shit. Yeah. And then I remember, I think my parents were sleeping, sister was in her room, brother was in his room, and I was like, I'm gonna write a song. And I wrote this song. Y'all ready for the title? Called Shoo-doo-doo-doo-doo-wah. And the song was it was a love song. I was listening to a lot of Babyface. I was listening to a lot of SWV, Escape, especially Brandy. I was just listening to a lot of R&B music. And I was just like, I'm gonna write a song. I'm gonna write a love song. I wrote this song when I was like, 10, 11 years old. It's still a bop, low key. And this is how it goes. When I look into your eyes, I realize this is not a lie. I should-do-do-do-do-do-ah. Shoot-shoot-wow. I wrote that 10 or 11 or 12. Pretty much I'm still a kid singing about a love song. So the song was about just, I'm so in love with this man that I don't even know what to say. He's making me speak in tongues. He's making me say shoo-doo-doo-doo-doo-wah. I just love him so much that you make me just say shoo-doo-doo-doo-doo-wah because I'm just that in love with you. And then once I wrote that song, I was like, I think I'm pretty good. I think I got a knack for songwriting. And it made me fall in love with music. It made me fall in love with the process of songwriting. I continued to write songs. I continued to play on my sister's keyboard. And then when I wasn't songwriting, I was also practicing how to perform in front of people. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so good at performing, is because during my childhood to my teenage years to my college years, I'll grab the brush and pretend I was singing in front of thousands, millions of people. And you know, the more I think about it, I feel like God was preparing me to perform even at my age. And I think that's why I love performing so much, because I've had years of practice from my childhood, college, middle school. And so I just fell in love with music, the performing, the lyrics, the songwriting, the harmony. There's this group, what are they called? Brownstone. Hey! I love that group. I would listen to them so much, and I was just like, I want to sing like them. I want to focus. We're talking about songwriting. And fast forward, now I'm in high school, and it was 10th or 11th grade. I was going through it. That was my first time dealing with depression. That was my first time dealing with who am I, you know, and my body was developing. I'm realizing the power of friendship. I experienced backstabbing, and also I got sick. There was a bacteria in my stomach, and I was in and out of the emergency room. And going through being a teenager mentally, and also being sick physically, also did something to me mentally as well, and that's what caused some of the depression. And I remember I would vent to my friends, I would vent to my family, and I felt like even though they were listening to me, even though they were there for me, I still feel like they didn't understand me. I felt like they didn't hear me. And at that point, it was literally like, all right, it's just me and you, Jesus, because I'm venting to my friend and she's listening to me, and I know she loves me, but I don't think she gets it. I don't think she understands what I'm going through, and which resulted in me writing my first life experience song that I went through. All the songs that I wrote before, I would kind of just write, but I didn't experience it. You know what I'm saying? I would write about love, but I was never in love. But this song was titled Can You Hear Me? It was my first real life, I'm going through something, I have to write what I'm going through. Because I was praying, I was talking to my friends, and I still didn't feel healed. I didn't feel better. What made me feel better was just purging what I was feeling through that paper and writing about it. And the song, as I said before, is called Can You Hear Me? I'm 35 years old. I wrote that song when I was 16 or 17. I still can't sing this song without crying, because it was rooted, that pain, that song was rooted in pain, yeah, and sadness. I like to say maybe, or compare it to, it's like surgery. And you know, when you're in surgery, you know, the doctor gives you anesthesia to numb the pain. I felt like I was writing that song without the anesthesia. I felt like I was going through the surgery and feeling the pain while still writing, if that makes any sense. It was like I was on the surgery table, somebody gave me the notepad and the pen, and while I'm feeling the pain, I'm writing everything down of what I'm experiencing. And that's what Can You Hear Me is that's why I can't sing this song to this day, because I just remember how I felt when I wrote it. And I'm gonna sing it to you guys. I'm gonna sing a little bit of it. And I remember my friend, her name is Judith, so she's one of my closest friends. We were going through similar situations, and I just remember we went to some event, some church event, and then we went to the bathroom, and we were just like talking to each other, like what we went through. And then she ended up singing a song that she wrote, and I'm here like bawling, I'm crying, and I'm like, I'm going through the same thing, sis. Like, and then I was like, I wrote a song like that, and she's like, sing it. Can you sing it for me? And I was just like, okay, I'll sing it. And I sung this song, Can You Hear Me? Crying seems like the only thing I do. Why can't I just try my eyes? Oof. Searching for answers, wondering why. Can I just be free? Oh, oh. Can you hear me? Woo. So I can't sing that song without crying. Wow, I can't sing that song without. This is why I don't sing that song in front of wow, shit. I didn't know I was gonna cry on this. This is why I can't sing that song in front of people. I've only sung that song 2 times, but I'm gonna try to finish the chorus. You got this, Tamika. Can you hear me? I'm crying out. Can you hear me? I'm wondering why. Can you hear me? I need to be heard. I'm talking, letting all my feelings out. Yeah, and I remember singing that to her, and she just started crying. And I was just like, this is what made me realize this was the beginning of lyrics are impactful. Lyrics mean something. Wow. And fast forward to that song. She loved that song so much. We, after school, there's this McDonald's right next to right next to the high school. And this particular McDonald's, the juniors, the seniors, we will all hang out. And at the time I was a senior or junior, I don't know. But anyway, and we would go to this particular McDonald's, and it was mostly just teenagers. We would rarely see any old people there. Sorry, any adults there. And I was sitting down, and this like white old man came to sit next to me and my friend. And I'm here like, out of all the seats, you gotta sit next to us, because he looked a little like, he looked homeless, I'm not gonna lie. And also, I was just like, like I wanted to, hang with my friend. I didn't want to, sit next to an old guy. And I remember he was just talking to us, and in my mind I was just like, oh my God, I don't want to talk to this. I don't want to talk to this like homeless old man. And my friend, being my friend, she was just like, why don't you sing your song? Go sing for him. Because it looked like he was going through something too. And I was just like, man, I don't want to do it. But I ended up doing it, and I was like, let me just do it so that, my friend could just, she could leave me alone, and we could eat this McDonald's, and we could have girl talk. And I sung, Can You Hear Me? Can you hear me? And then I'm in the song, I'm closing my eyes. When I finish, I open my eyes. I see this man in tears. He grabs my hand, and I was okay. At that moment, I was okay with it, because something happened, some powerful energy, spirit, vibe, whatever you want to call it, just happened. And he said, with tears in his eyes, he said, thank you, I needed that. And then I was just like, oh, he left. That story I love to tell, because that's when I realized that there is songwriting, there's singing, That's great. But then there's also the anointing, or people like to call it the gift. Some people like to say there's something special. Then I realized I just don't sing. There's people don't just sing. I just don't sing. I bless people. My lyrics are not just words on a paper. They're relatable. They're powerful. They make people want to be better. They just want to know they can relate to somebody. And I think that's what that song Can You Hear Me does in my other. I'm in high school, and remember the story of my dad bought my sister the keyboard, and I'm here like jealous and everything. And fast forward to high school, I went into a guitar class and I started learning the guitar. And I saw that my parents can see that I was taking it seriously, because we were able to, the guitar that we had in school, we were able to take it home and practice the songs that we were learning. I remember it was like my senior year was about to finish, and I had to give the guitar back away. And I was like, I really, really like that guitar. I really want a guitar. And then I remember coming home, and I went home, go to my room, and I see a guitar on my bed. And I was like, I have a guitar. I still have that guitar. It's home in Miami and in my parents' garage. I love that guitar. That was the moment when my songwriting enhanced. I learned how to sing and play the guitar, got it, at the same time. And I still remember my first song. I learned A minor and E minor, and I just remember it was continue writing actually. I was just writing songs on the guitar, and that's how I write songs to this day. Sometimes I grab the guitar, I start strumming it or finger picking it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, ooh, and I'll freestyle a song, and I'll get my notepad and I'll just quickly write something down. Or sometimes I'll freestyle write. Sometimes it starts off with a poem or whatever I'm thinking. Grab the guitar, just strum a few melodies, and then I'll sing to what I wrote. So thank you, Mommy and Daddy, for buying me a guitar, because you guys really helped my writing. And fast forward to me now being Tamika J, releasing projects, and I still have the same process. I still write through experience. I still write through hope. I still write through things that I see. And there's certain songs that even when I have a show, I cry, you know, and that's my story of songwriting. I love songwriting, and I thank God that even though we're going through so much with this coronavirus and quarantine, I'm so glad that I was able to witness Teddy Riley, Babyface, T-Pain, Lil Jon, Scott Storch, Swizz Beatz, Timbaland. I can go on and on. Brian Michael Cox, just everybody, just seeing legendary music and knowing that I was in that era. I remember those songs that they wrote. There's some songs I didn't even know that they wrote. I'm gonna be honest about that. But I'm just so happy because I love music. It made me fall so much more. It made me fall so much more in love with music. So that's my story of songwriting. I hope I didn't bore you to death, and put my glasses on because I got some songs to write after this. Love you guys. And yeah, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel because there'll be more of this coming soon. All right, bye.